Good afternoon. Today is June 13th, and today I'll continue to be talking about the coronavirus. So the first piece of news that I'd like to talk about is that Beijing authorities have shut down a major seafood and produce market and locked down several residential complexes on today after 53 people tested positive for the coronavirus in the city. Nearly everyone who tested positive had worked or shopped at the Xinfadi market, a wholesale market on the city's south side that sells seafood, fruit, and vegetables. More than 10,000 people work at the market, which supplies 90% of Beijing's fruits and vegetables, and the virus was reportedly detected from imported salmon, but I think this is highly unlikely in that there has been extremely rare cases of the virus in animals, and since the coronaviruses have shown to be unstable in water, there's kind of no way how a salmon could spread the virus. The developments also prompted the authorities to completely close 5 other Beijing markets, to lock down 11 nearby residential communities and 9 schools, and to tighten controls on movement in and out of the city. State media outlets described this effort as a wartime mechanism, and I think this is really dangerous in that let's say if there was truly an outbreak happening from this market, well, first, the citizens living in Beijing would not have many food to eat, so perhaps if you're living in Beijing, maybe it's a good time to start hoarding some fruit and vegetables, because it may be very likely that food may be very rare to come by now as we continue on. And Beijing is becoming the new Wuhan in a way, in that, well, both seafood markets have closed, and maybe it's just a matter of time before Beijing has to lock down itself, and therefore, if you want to escape, and if you want to leave Beijing, or you don't want to be in the city when there's a lockdown, then perhaps maybe you should leave the city. And I think, these are really just signs that Beijing might become the new Wuhan, and that there may be another second outbreak coming in as reopenings will continue. After all, the U.S. has reopened, and there have been just increasing cases, and it's kind of impossible to open and not have any cases. So the second thing that I'd like to talk about is that the New York has seen an extreme decrease in deaths tied to the coronavirus, which is a very good sign. And the worrisome thing is that New York's progress was not being replicated across the nation. As many as 400,000 workers began returning to construction jobs, manufacturing sites, and retail stores in New York City's first phase of reopening. And increased testing has also shown that the virus is spreading at a slower pace than it did 3 months ago, when as many as 800 people were dying a day. This is extremely worrisome as we see other parts of the country, including California, Florida, and Texas, hitting its new daily high total of new cases, and several southern states, most of which began easing social distancing restrictions and reopening some businesses in late April and early May, also seeing increased cases. So I think what is happening here is that as we are starting to reopen, the increases in cases just a consequence that is hard to ignore. But if, on the other hand, if we do not reopen, the economy will just suffer more and more, and the citizens will essentially suffer more. So I think this adds to my argument about how Beijing probably is just because having new cases due to reopening, which is impossible to ignore. And obviously, here we see in the United States that reopening leads to new cases, but I think mostly new cases can also be traced back to the protests that are happening right now, as that's really in close quarters, and viruses can easily spread from these protests. That's it. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have a good day. Thank you.